Noon here with National VA Loans, and today we're talking to first-time home buyers. Let's get after it. All right, like I said, we are talking to first-time home buyers and some of the things that you can expect as a first-time home buyer. Now, number one, you've already got the greatest of the world because you can do the VA. You have VA eligibility. You are a veteran or active duty service member, and you have the VA eligibility, which is an awesome way to start out as a first-time home buyer. Number one, because there is no down payment requirement, which is so big when it comes to buying a home. On an FHA loan, 3.5% is minimum. On a conventional loan, typically 5% is the minimum that you're going to be putting down as a first time home buyer. So you're looking at a $200,000 home. FHA $7,000. Conventional is going to be $10,000. But on a VA, you don't have to worry about that. So you don't have to sit around or wait around, I guess I should say, and scrape and save to have that down payment money on a VA loan, which is is really, really awesome. I do want to put up an overlay because there's a couple different things on here that as first time homebuyers that you have questions about, and these are very good. How much can I afford? How much will I need down? Well, we already covered that. As a V, you will need nothing down. How much are closing costs? How do I choose a realtor? How do I get pre-qualified? And what's my credit score? Those are all basic and general questions that every first time homebuyer has. And at National VA Loans, we completely understand those questions because they're all very important. So let's just kind of drill them off one by one. How much can I afford? That's a great question. How much can I afford? And I kind of go back and forth on this a couple different ways because there's what you can afford as what a mortgage person is going to tell you, or a mortgage banker is going to tell you what you can afford based on guidelines and what's allowable. And then there's what you can budget and what you can actually afford on a personal level. Those are usually two different things. So what I always advise my first time home buyers or our first time home buyers to do is to kind of sit down and budget. Typically I like to, if we're talking with first time home buyers on the phone, I like to talk with both. If there's, a spouse involved, and everyone needs to get involved so we can set up a budget and kind of get an idea of where that budget's going to be. So that's really the first step. What can you afford? You're looking at what your rent is, and maybe it's $1,500, $2,000 a month, and you feel comfortable there. Are you able to go higher? Are you able to cut out that Starbucks every day, or whatever the case may be? And again, believe me, I'm definitely one to tell you, you don't need to change your lifestyle so much to afford the house that you want, but sometimes a few lifestyle changes are required to get the exact house you want. So you need to sit down and look at your budget and see what fits into your budget, and then come with that number. And so that we're working around a number that you feel comfortable with and confident in. Next, how much will I need down? Well, like I said, we've already covered that as on the VA loan. You are a veteran or an active duty service member, and you have VA eligibility. Obviously, there is a 0% down payment requirement, which is, like I said, awesome. Next on that list, how much are closing costs? And this is kind of a loaded question because there's two different things when you're looking at closing costs. You're obviously looking at the costs from the lender you're using, from the title company you're working with. You have appraisal costs and all the third parties that go along with it, with verifications, things like that. But then you also have, and all that money can't be wrapped into the loan. It's all due at closing. But then you also have your prepaid items, such as your insurance. And this is one that kind of, especially first time home buyers don't really understand, but because you don't know. But the homeowner's insurance, you pay that in advance. So at closing, you're going to pay a full year. If your insurance premium is $2,000 a year, you're going to bring that money along with any of your other closing costs to closing with you, and you're going to pay that insurance up front. Throughout the year, your taxes and insurance will be escrowed, and then when they come due again, that money will be taken from your escrow account to pay out those accounts. But the insurance is paid in advance, so that is a part of the closing costs. Now, I will tell you this, that there is a possibility when you're negotiating on a contract, that you can get the seller to pay closing costs. Of course, give us a call, 855-956-4040. Any of our VA specialists will be able to help you with that aspect of it. We try, as far as veterans go, and on the VA loan, we'd love to see you get in without any money out of your pocket at all. And that's kind of the way we kind of shape everything to make it work for you, so you can keep as much money in your pocket, or under your pillow as you can. So under your pillow is not a horrible place to keep it, but I digress. So how do I choose a realtor? That's a really, really good question, and it can be difficult. I mean, obviously, there's so many different places where you can go see reviews and things like that. But me personally, I like to get a personal referral, really for about anything I'm doing. A lot of times, even when I'm doing doing stuff to my car, I like to have a guy. I like to, well, I got this guy for this, and this guy takes care of this, and so I know that people. Number one, I can feel good about referring those people or referring friends and family to those different services, but number two, I just know that I'm going to get the service I need in order to make things work. So when picking a real estate agent, I would suggest that you do get a referral from friends, family, or any of us here at VA, at National VA, would be more than happy to give referrals, especially if we have someone in your area. We also do work with a handful of veteran oriented real estate agents, which really makes the process go a lot smoother for you, for us, and for the sellers on the house that you're buying. So it's something to think about on the realtor side. How do I get pre-qualified? Wow, that's a great question, and probably the easiest one to answer. The easiest way to get pre-qualified, number one, is to give us a call at National VA, 855-956-4040. Any of our VA specialists here will be more than happy to answer any questions and get you pre-qualified. Of course, you can always, if you're like you guys have probably heard me say, if you're a little bit proactive and you want to get things done right away, then you can always check out our nationalapplynow.com. I'm going to put that at the bottom. National Apply Now, it is the best and easy way to go in and get an application on a secure site filled out, and one of our VA specialists can give you a call, go over the information, and get you pre-qualified right away. So the pre-qualification is very important. It's hard to make an offer on a house unless they know you're pre-qualified. That's typically one of the first questions a real estate agent is going to ask you is, have you been pre-qualified? And there's nothing better feeling than say, you damn right I have. Here's my pre-qualification letter right here. Now let's find the right house and let's work out a good deal. So that's a pretty important step, and typically the first step in the process after setting your budget and knowing exactly what your budget will be. Last but not least is what is my credit score? And gosh darn it, there's so many different things out there that right now that show you credit score. You've got Experian, you've got hundreds of these companies out there that, well, we'll get you this credit score, we'll show you this credit score. And the thing is number one, you need to know is the VA loan. You can do loans all the way down, credit scores all the way down to 550 with most lenders, especially with us here at National VA and Leader One Financial. We can go down to the 550 credit score. Now, it becomes increasingly difficult the lower your score is. Now, what I always tell people is if you do have a lower score, there's always a plan. There's always a way to get that score up. Credit can be, and I hate to use the word manipulated, but you can work it into to your advantage if you know the right steps. If you know that paying down a credit card, and sometimes paying it down is not the only way to do it. Sometimes increasing the limit will help you get a higher credit score. Sometimes taking out a new card and paying off balances will help you take out or get a higher credit score. So there's a lot of different ways that we're able to make it work on the credit score side of it to where you can get an idea of, if I'm at a 600 credit score, but I qualify, but I can get the best rate at a 620 credit score. How can we get there? And that's really what our VA specialists will help with. And again, you can give any of our VA specialists here a call, 855-956-4040. But I will say this, probably one of the biggest questions that we get right now is now a good time to buy? And you're going to take, guys, I'll just be honest, you're going to hear different takes on this from different people, no matter who you talk to. I'm just giving you my 22 years of experience, and I've seen rates go up and down. I've seen them go sideways, and that typically doesn't change, and it'll probably always remain the same. But one thing that we've consistently seen property do over the last 50 years is we've consistently seen it increase. Now, there's been years in there where there has been decreases, but they were usually the decrease was usually preceded by large increase in equity or in value of property. Typically we see a 2 to 4% increase year over year. The years that we've seen decreases in value is when we've seen a 10 to 15% increase. So right now, I don't think you're going to find property cheaper than you will right now. The rates will eventually go down. They just always do. Now, do I have a crystal ball and I can tell you it's going to be in 6 months? No, don't have that crystal ball. Unfortunately, I wish I did, but I will tell you this, that typically you're going to see property values increase, rates either flatten or decrease. And that's kind of how it goes. I mean, we always say it's a kind of a roller coaster, and typically it is. The nice thing is you're going to see those property values continually rise at a 2 to 4% clip, which right now, if If you can buy now versus waiting till the rates come down, it will save you money and make you money in the long run. So again, there's some really great questions. Of course, you can go in and check out any of these, but always your best bet, in my opinion, is to give us a call, 855-956-4040. Or like I said, if you are proactive and you like to get done, then just check us out, nationalapplynow.com. Go ahead and fill out your application. It's pretty simple. It's online and it's secure. And then your VA specialist will get you called back to go over everything and get you pre-qualified right away. 855-956-4040. Until next time, folks, thank you for your service. Thank you for what you've done for our country. Take care of yourselves and God bless.